Hello. Today I'm going to talk about a case that took place in 2006 in the United Kingdom. This was a daring cash robbery that broke records to become the largest cash heist in UK history, surpassing the 2004 Northern Bank robbery, where the robbers stole £26.4 million. In this case, the amount stolen reached a staggering £53.1 million, a shocking figure at the time. Location of the robbery. The robbery occurred at a cash depot owned by Securitas, located in the town of Tonbridge in Kent, UK. Securitas is a renowned security company trusted by many banks to store and transport cash. Prior to the robbery, the Bank of England had transferred a large amount of cash to this depot as a hub for distribution to banks across the country. However, confidential information about this massive cash reserve was somehow leaked, attracting the attention of a gang of robbers. The gang's plan. The gang, consisting of 7 members, prepared for 6 months to execute the heist. Robbing a cash depot was no easy task. They needed weapons, escape routes, and a detailed plan. The biggest challenge was how to breach the depot's stringent security measures, which included iron fences, extensive CCTV surveillance, and 3 nearby police stations forming a triangular perimeter around the depot. Breaking in by force was impractical, as it would immediately trigger alarms, prompting a swift police response. Actions on February 21, 2006. At around 5:30 p.m. on February 21, 2006, Colin Dixon, the manager at the Securitas depot, finished work and drove toward his home in Herne Bay, about 50 miles from Tonbridge. The gang had been tracking him for some time, fully aware of his daily routine and route. The robbers split into 2 teams. One team disguised themselves as police officers, driving a fake police car, and followed Dixon's vehicle. At 6:30 p.m., while Dixon was driving on the A249 road in the outskirts of Stockbury, he noticed a police car with flashing blue lights behind him through his rear view mirror. Believing it was genuine police, he pulled over. A fake officer instructed him to turn off the engine and leave the keys, then suddenly handcuffed him, accusing him of speeding, and forced him into another vehicle. Meanwhile, the second team of robbers had already gone to Dixon's home in Herne Bay, where they kidnapped his wife and 7-year-old son, taking them to a warehouse in the suburbs. When Dixon was brought to the same warehouse, he saw his bound wife and son. At this point, he realized the robbers were not police and were threatening his family's lives. The gang's demands. The robbers demanded that Colin Dixon, as the depot manager, lead them into the cash depot to carry out the robbery. If he refused to cooperate, they threatened to kill his wife and son. Under pressure to save his family, Dixon was forced to comply. At 1 a.m. on February 22, 2006, Dixon and the 7 robbers arrived at the depot in Tonbridge. Dixon was in one car, followed by a white van. The robbers wore balaclava masks and were armed with handguns, shotguns, Scorpion submachine guns, and AK-47s. Executing the robbery. Under Dixon's guidance, the gang entered the control center at the depot's entrance, where they subdued a staff member and forced them to open the gate. Once inside, they threatened the 14 night shift employees, tied them up, and locked them in the steel cages used to store cash. The gang quickly accessed the cash storage area, where over £200 million in banknotes, recently delivered by the Bank of England, were held. They used trolleys, bags, and baskets to load £53.1 million into the van, leaving behind £154 million due to limited space. The robbery lasted from 1 a.m. to 2:45 a.m. Before leaving, the gang released Dixon's wife and son, but locked them, along with the other employees, in the steel cages. They then fled to a suburban farm to divide the money and escape. Police response. Half an hour after the robbers left, an employee used a hidden key to unlock the cage, freeing everyone and alerting the police. Thanks to the timely report, Kent police launched a large-scale investigation. Securitas and its insurance company offered a £2 million reward for information leading to the case's resolution. Police discovered that some robbers, disguised as police, did not wear masks when confronting Dixon, but a witness named Michelle Hogg in South London revealed that the gang used rubber masks and makeup to alter their appearances. Michelle Hogg, a makeup artist, initially refused to cooperate out of fear of retaliation, but later agreed to testify, helping identify the true faces of some robbers. Investigation and arrests. On February 23, police found a red van disguised as a delivery company vehicle and a burned fake police car. The van was linked to Stuart Royal, a used car dealer who also owned a vehicle fitted with police lights. On February 24, police discovered straps and packaging materials at a nearby site, along with £1.37 million in cash, guns, masks, and bulletproof vests in a white Ford Transit van at a hotel car park in Ashford, Kent. Through the investigation, police identified two key suspects, Lee Murray, the gang's leader, and Ermir Heisenaj, an inside employee at the depot. On February 26th, Kent police conducted a major pursuit in Tankerton, apprehending two suspects in a blue BMW after a dramatic chase. On February 28th, the Renault van used in the robbery was found at a secret location. By March 9th, police recovered £19.7 million and identified additional suspects. Ermir Heisenaj, an Albanian depot employee, was caught using a camera hidden in his belt to record the depot's interior, providing the gang with critical information. This insider knowledge explained why the robbery occurred shortly after the Bank of England's cash delivery. The gang's leader, the mastermind behind the heist, was Lee Murray, a former MMA fighter known as Lightning for his swift victories in the ring. Just 4 days after the robbery, Murray and his wife, Ellen, fled to Morocco, where they purchased a £1 million mansion. However, British police, in collaboration with Moroccan authorities, monitored Murray and discovered he was involved in drug possession, leading to his arrest on June 26, 2006. Ellen was extradited to the UK, while Murray was imprisoned in Morocco with a 10-year sentence, later extended to 25 years in 2010. Case conclusion. In 2008, a UK court sentenced the main suspects to terms ranging from 20 years to life imprisonment. Michelle Hogg was acquitted for her role as a witness. Ermir Heisenaj, Stuart Royal, and other gang members were also convicted. The case was successfully resolved, with the robbers facing justice, and Kent police received widespread praise for their effective investigation. This remains one of the boldest heists in UK history.